What's going on, Jeromes? We're back. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day out there to those who celebrate. Daily Jeromes live stream, 11 a.m.-ish Central Time, Monday through Thursday. Talking Vikings, talking draft, talking not getting Forrest Lamp. Lots of big things. Shout outs to Rufus McGee as well as Joe Barton, brand new monthly Jeromes. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. We got some Q's, we got some A's. Let's go. Jaimo Kaikin. Why did Farley's stock drop so quickly? Back. Yeah, he's got a back injury. He needs a back procedure. I think he'll certainly be fine. And fully healthy, I would put him above Surtain. Like, Caleb Farley is just that dude, man. Like, he is a friggin' awesome player. Bryce, he could be in the mix for the Vikings up 14 if they're able to get that back medically checked out. I know people will be creeped out because of Mike Hughes and his neck injury, but what can you do? Bryce Farringer. Someone told me yesterday that there have only been two Dalvins to play in the history of the NFL, and now they're both on the same team. Yes. If you look at the Pro Football Reference database, there's only been two Dalvins, both on the Vikings. Let's go. Zach Ballas. With the recent news in the backfield, trade down in the first and get Joke. Backfield. Oh, with Gladney? But why are you getting Owusu Koromora? Then trade back up, maximizing value, and get BP at O-line. No, I said minimize value. I want the minimum value possible. No, but Jeremiah Owusu Koromora is a damn good player, man. He's really good as well. Pulford Skull. Oh, plus with Joke, in a division where you got Robert Tonyan, where you got Hawkinson, and you got Cole Kmet, yeah, having a guy like Joke makes a lot of sense. Pulford Skull. Zimmer's already telling Rick he's got to have a cornerback at 14 now every year. Well, luckily, one of the quarterbacks that could be available at 14, whether it be Farley, Surtain, J.C. Horn, or Newsome, are good, at least. Spartus, does the whole Gladney situation give Jimmer more job security if the season ends up going poorly again? No, absolutely not. I don't think it gives them cover at all. And I actually think it's a bit of a demerit on Zimmer since I believe. So, I don't know. I don't know with 2020 and the Rona, because usually Zimmer and Spielman go to TCU together. That's one of their normal stops. So I don't know if Zimmer worked him out personally or they got a character assessment or evaluation. Yeah, but either way, no, it does not change the needle, move the needle at him at all. Big Papa Bert. I'm curious to hear what your top 10 coaches are in the league currently. Let's take a look. Top 10 coaches. NFL current. So I'm going to go who I want coaching my team. I'm not going to go by whatever metric. So my criteria is who do I want coaching my team. So Belichick would still be one. It'd be what it'd be. Andy Reid, Belichick 1, Tomlin 2, Andy Reid 3, John Harbaugh 4, Arians 5, no risk it, no biscuit. Matt Nagy, no, just kidding. Sean McDermott 6. Stefanski 7. Actually, I'm going to put Stefanski at 6. He's up there. Dan Campbell, just because it would be hilarious. Flores 8. Yeah, that makes sense. Joe Judge 9. No. Shanahan 8, Flores 9, Joe Judge 10. Pete Carroll, I think the game is past Pete by. I think Pete is definitely aged out. All right, next up. Angling with Evan. Is there still hope for Orlando Brown Jr. trade, and how much do you think the Gladney incident will affect the draft? I don't think the Gladney incident will affect the draft that much. I think the Vikings still could have been in on cornerback early on. Now, maybe it expedites the need in the mid-rounds, sure. But I don't think they overdraft a corner just to take a corner. And with Orlando Brown, I think that could come down to the draft. I think it could be a couple contingencies like say a team like the Vikings, if they miss, if Darisaw Slater and Penei Sewell are all off the board at 14, maybe the Vikings do pull the trigger. Maybe they're like, it's a 14 for Orlando Brown and a fourth or something like that. David Baker, Andy, your daily output of intelligent insight and thank you. Realistic is this year when the Vikings should trade several future first and second round picks to get multiple picks in this year's first round? Nah. Like, I understand that they're all in, but nah. Number 2, if Rodgers has bird bones, how would you describe Devontae Smith's skeleton? Looking for slender, but dynamic. Rahul Prandhan, what are your thoughts on Daz Newsome? I really love the way he plays. I think he could be a great mid-round pickup for the Vikings, new wide receiver 3. He's a lot of fun. So Diami Brown gets all the love for UNC, but Daz Newsome is a damn good player as well. He's got that speed, got the return ability, and I think he's exactly what the Vikings need, or the profile of the type of player that the Vikings need as their wide receiver 3. So I would be happy as a clam if you can get Daz in the 4th round, which is possible. Mike's videos, love your channel. Hopefully you get more popular in the future. So that's my favorite backhanded compliment, where it's like, oh, you're good, you should have more subscribers. Also, have you planned a 50K subscriber special? No. John Brand, we'll think about it. Producer Allie would do something. John Brand, could we take pay at 14, then trade back into the late first and AVT somewhere in the late 20s? I feel like you could be there for sure. I don't think that AVT will get by the Raiders, Cardinals, Washington, Bears quadrangular, because I think Tevin Steelers as well. So I think AVT and Tevin Jenkins are destined for that area. So late 20s, probably not. Viking Jerome, but hell, late 20s, go get Dickerson, or just take Wyatt Davis or Creed Humphrey. God, Viking Jerome. We need a young kicker in this draft. Miami, Jose Borregales is my pick. I like the Florida guy. Evan McPherson, I think it is. I don't know. Definitely not all about drafting kickers, but picking up a UDFA guy. Master Mike 117. What team would you not want to face against? The Vikings make it to the NFC Championship and also Super Bowl. For me, it's the Bucs and Chiefs. I would not want to play against the... Yeah, I guess the Bucs and the Bucs, because Tom Brady has the refs in his pocket as well. I would actually be more scared about playing the Titans, because even though the Vikings, Arby's, we got the meats on the defensive line, Derrick Henry is he's just different. Plus AJ Brown is so friggin' underrated. AJ Brown's a damn good player. But yeah, it's still the Bucs. Austin Arias. I have always wondered what happens to a contract of a player who gets incarcerated. Is null and void. Does some of the money still get dished up? Well, recent examples, well, not so recent, but so Michael Vick had like $100 million contract with the Falcons, and when he got arrested, that many of the contracts have provisions where the guarantees can void, and then the team can just cut them without paying out the guaranteed money. I think that they have to have dead cap in terms of money that's already been paid out. Well, actually, I know that for sure. So if they got a big signing bonus, that still has to be on the books, etc. But yeah, there's clauses and provisions where even something as minor as if you get suspended for PEDs, well, you can't get suspended for substance anymore, but if you get popped for PEDs, it can void the guarantees in your contract. And yeah, like Aaron Hernandez, that's why Aaron Hernandez had just signed a really big extension with the Patriots, and then as soon as he was indicted and arrested, the Patriots voided his contract. And there had been a legal process where his estate had tried to get back at the Patriots some of that money. I think there was a settlement. I'm talking out of my butt right now, but what else is new? If we had more time, we would look up the details. But if something goes down with Gladney, I think that they can find a way to get out of his guaranteed money. But, well, let's take a look at his contract. So he's a first-round pick, so his contract is guaranteed. Actually, they already have Jeff Gladney off the books. They haven't done anything with him yet. Man, why are we going the long way? Let's go to over the cap then. OTC, Jeff Gladney. Because he is a late first round pick, so the Vikings aren't on the hook for that much. I believe he has a pretty decent signing bonus up. So let's see here. All right, God, why? All of these sites have drawbacks. Like, I just want to know where the signing bonus is. All right, so signing bonus, $5.5 million. The Vikings are on the hook for that because it's already been paid out, and also they're on the hook for that for his for the cap charge on that. Now, his 4-year contract is fully guaranteed being a first round pick. So the Vikings, they could try to cut him and then try to claw back the $4.8 million and change, but that might have to be. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, there are provisions where they can void guarantees, but we'll see if the Vikings go down that route. Next up, Meyer64. Are you against the Vikings trading back into the 20s and going BPA, then picking up an offensive line in the second round? No, do it. Go ahead. If you can do it, go ahead. Evan Castanaway, I think Dylan Moses can be a steal. He played with a torn meniscus and has so much potential. Who, before his injury, was seen as a surefire first-round pick. But I do like Moses a lot. He's stout. He can rush the passer. Can do a lot of things. He's not as freakish as a Micah Parsons, but does have talent if he can recover from that injury. Stan Lamaros. We drafted Ezra last year to be our left tackle of the future. Now I love Darrisaw, but I'd rather have Dickerson, if only one. He could play guard center. Bradbury can move to guard or be benched. More versatility with Dickerson. He's my gotta-have player. Atlanta Dickerson is a damn dude. Hell, just take him at 14. I don't care. I don't care at this point. A little no perfection. The Gladney situation is such a bummer. The only silver lining is maybe Harrison Hand gets more opportunity at starting slot. With Harrison's length, I wouldn't mess around in the slot. I would just keep him on the outside. Yeah, I think that he does have rare length and ability to be an outside corner. Ben Weatherly. Plus, I mean, you got Mac. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings only pick up one immediate starter on offensive line, as I think someone on the Rooster is going to step up in the starting role. Hopefully Udo or Hinton, not Dozier or Hill. Yeah, that's my only drawback. Like, if Dakota Dozier was not on the roster, I'm fine with Rashad Hill. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be open competition because it wasn't last year. And Dennison and Zimmer are still just sitting there chilling. So we'll see. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll give a couple shout outs. Mitchell Anderson, is a trade back from 14 or a trade up from 78 in the second round more likely? Probably a trade back. Yeah, from 78 to like the mid-second round or higher, that's going to be a lot. M. Cascano, what do you think about Dwayne Eskridge? Love him. And like we mentioned earlier about Daz Newsome, just a guy that fits that sort of undersized but speedy wide receiver, can return kicks and punts. Yeah, Eskridge is that dude. And, you know, the whole term Tyreek Hill gets thrown around way too much, but we're in that neighborhood. Yeah. Partney Comics, trade back to get second round or condense later picks to move into second. I would rather do the latter since you have 2/3, 4/4, 2/5, etc. Cameron James, why do you think the Kyle Rudolph production fell off? I think he got old, and Thielen really stepped up as the red zone option. And there's only so many balls to go around. And Irv and Gronklin stepped up, and Justin friggin' Jefferson was out there too. So only so many balls to go around. Eric Anderson, left or right? Sewell, Cleveland, yes. You had me at Sewell. Tristan D, what would the Vikings have to accomplish this season in order for Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman to keep their jobs? I think they have to at least make the NFC title game. I think that's the line of demarcation. If they get that far, everyone is definitely safe. If not, I mean, hell, the Vikings could win the division. Well, there's only one bye left. So say they get to the division round, then lose, or lose in the wild card round. I don't know if that makes everyone safe. And Cascano, and there goes Forrest Lamp. Come on, Spielman. Yep, he just signed with the Bills. We just did a video on that. A couple shout-outs. Blowing up here. A couple shout-outs. Viking Man, Altadena, California. Purple Rain, Wasau, Wisconsin. Mitchell Johnson, Rochester, Minnesota. Med City. Caio Baldrini, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Jake Richards, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. McNiller and Sons. Patrick Peterson's house. David Randall Howell, Memphis, Tennessee. Love your ribs. Rendezvous. Mike Benham, Grand Rapids. Bob Pahul, Hibbing. Dated a girl from Hibbing back in the day. Sticks, 27, Brunswick, Germany. Mark Sonnenberg, Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Elijah Alsop, Forest City. Nick Stavig, Duluth. What's going on? You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Also, Sam Heckel, Northeast, Minneapolis. You guys are the best. Next up, Showdown, Kyle Borsa, Regina Rams. Running back, kick returner. Favorite team is the Vikings. Ran a 4.38 40. Any info on this player? All the info I have is this. Like, this could be a made-up player. Tristan D. What would it cost to trade up the lines of Penny Sioux Falls? A lot. You're in division, so they're going to claw your eyes out. It better be worth it, Chief. I might still do it. Miles. Chris Sims' offensive line rankings are pretty standard besides his ranking of Slater. Maybe really want Darrisaw. So he's really down on Slater. Now, I understand being high on Dickerson. Health issues are definitely a concern. Darrisaw, I get. Sewell, I get. AVT, yes. Him being down on Slater, like I haven't seen his reasoning, but a lot of it could be because of the length and also lack of anchor. So I think he's going to be best suited playing tackle. I understand Daniel Jeremiah said that he could kick inside, but I have my doubts. I'm pretty skeptical about that. But man, if he could just be 6'5" and his arms just be like 2 inches longer, he would be rock star. John Anderson TV. What are the odds of us drafting Cormack the first round now? 50-50 with Cristobal. Zach Ballas, who would win on Jeopardy? Weatherly, Tomlinson, third, who would compete with 1-2 above. So Weatherly went to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt's a very heavily academic school. He's good to go. Dalvin Tomlinson actually got offered a scholarship at Harvard, like an academic scholarship. So, I mean, he's a really interesting dude. Actually, both Tomlinson and Weatherly are. Who else would compete? Kirk. He better luck out. Like the categories are Creed and Nickelback and grilling human kidneys. Kirk wins. Also, he starts out with $84 million in his bank. So, Oh, Amir Abdullah. I think Amir Abdullah would be really good on Jeopardy. All three of those guys, extremely worldly, extremely well-read, extremely just have interests outside of football, which always intrigues me. Super Z. Can the Vikings get past the division round if they ignore offensive line first round? Yes. But they got to hammer it day 2, man. Those 2/3, those 4/4, they got to get put to work. Janderson TV, why does the NFL media actually hate the Vikings as much as they do? I honestly don't get it. It's sort of like whenever you get a group of people together, one person always has to take the ish, where it's a sort of a group bonding activity to gang up on one person. And that's where the bullying thing with kids comes about, where people want to be accepted. So, they start giving crap to the one person that they chose as a target. And that's the Vikings. That's the Vikings in a nutshell. Like, all the media just want to score points. And they're like, Vikings, blah, blah, blah. And also, you look at who are the national fan bases. You look at the Packers. You look at the Cowboys. And it's like, those are, division rival with the Vikings, as well as a team that has historical ties to the Vikings with the Drew Pearson push-off and the Herschel Walker trade. So, they're just trying to score brownie points. Just say, oh, look at me. I can dunk on the Vikings too because everyone's doing it. Oh, I can't wait. Because eventually, the kid being bullied, he gets in the game. Like, he takes a Muay Thai class. He's going to kick you upside your head. Woo! Let's go. Take a jiu-jitsu class, take you down on the ground, choke you out. Let's go. Logan Hoffman. Not a big fan of picking up Patrick Peterson. Cool. Lazy L, Patrick Surtain at 14 or Farley after a trade down. I'll take Farley after a trade down. Why the hell not? Miles, if you took DJ's past mock drafts, compare them to actual draft picks for the last, 10 years, no. I don't have time to do that. Josh M said, Andy Willie shotgun 2-4 locos when you reach 50K. How about 100K? Because actually, in the back of my mind, so the YouTube back-end analytics said that projection-wise, we can make 100K by next year. So, can we get to 100K subs? That'd be sick. I think you get a plaque or something. Or like, screw the plaque. Can I get a cheesecake? Take that. Stanley Morris. Teddy is whatever to back up quarterback, back up Kirk. Would you rather take a mid-round flyer on a guy like Newman, Ellinger, or Book to be a competitive quarterback too? I still haven't given up on Brown Hill yet. I would go with Newman. I'm not thrilled about Ellinger. Ian Book. I like Ian Book, but I understand his drawbacks. Yeah, I would go Newman. But hell, if you can sign Teddy for $4 million, even though he'll probably get better offers elsewhere, go ahead. Plus, it'd be funny. It'd be hilarious. No personal vendetta. What is your ideal coaching staff for the team in place? I think it's all good, except I would fire Rick Dennison, bring in Aaron Cromer or Mike Tice, and then I would fire Adam Zimmer, and I would rehire Scott Studwell. Yeah. Hey, Scott Studwell, come coach some linebackers. You know how to coach linebackers from back in the day. Why the hell not? Or Chad Greenway? Chad Greenway, you looking for work, buddy? I know you're making some great vodka, but how about coaching some linebackers that you played with back in the day? Chris Danny Hansen. Favorite Vikings team, 98, 09, 17. 98. Yeah, because I was a kid, and the 98 offense was just so fun. Just being dominant every single game. Erickson, you get GM for a day. What are you doing? I am trading a future second-round pick for Orlando Brown Jr. I'm getting that done. And I'm extending Danielle. Cody Sandstrom. I just had a realization I've hated Aaron Rodgers for his entire career. The only reason was he's really freaking good. No, screw him, douche. Rohit Anapati. What do you think it would take to get up to the 4th pick, and what do you think would be worth for Sewell? I think it would take 3 ones. I think it would take 14 and 2 future ones. Penny Sewell's great. I'm only giving up 3 ones for a quarterback, so no. Tristan Bailey. I think the Bears might have one of the worst teams in the league this year. Yes, indeed, especially if they have to get rid of Akeem Hicks. Zach L. I know we need offensive line and not probably cornerback, but I think JJ got so much press coverage last year. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to deck for a wide receiver in the first round. If one of the big 3 wide receivers are there, or Kyle Pitts, yes. Go ahead. Showdown. Why isn't there more buzz about Sam Houston corner Zion McCollum, 6'4" ball hawk? Because he goes to Sam Houston. Ezekiel Lockhart. If college football is indeed the minor league system for the NFL, shouldn't those people be making minimum wage instead of taking scholarships away from students who would actually show up for classes? Oh, I think that's a little bit harsh because the student athletes at a lot of these institutions, especially football players and to a degree basketball players, they are the revenue producers and they do fund the other sports at the school. Now, I understand the whole wage versus scholarship argument, but it doesn't necessarily take away from students who, quote unquote, would show up for classes. No, because one of the big reasons why schools have sports teams, it's for marketing. Like, how many 18-year-old kids pick a school because they like the sports team, whether football or basketball? It's a lot. It's a lot more than people would like to admit. And people do go for the college experience. They look at, the Big Ten, the SEC, to a degree, the ACC, Big 12. How many kids in those regions go to their schools for sports? And you need athletes to be good at sports. If you're competitive at sports, that's marketing that you can't buy. Like, having a team go to a Rose Bowl, win a national championship is better marketing than those stupid pamphlets that send out, oh, hey, have you seen our horticulture program? No. So, like, they get value. They do. Now, is it commensurate value with the revenue that they bring in? No, absolutely not. So I think the NCAA needs to be overhauled. I think that student athletes, especially football players, especially basketball players, do deserve a larger slice of the pie. I think they're starting to loosen restrictions. I think that if players can sell their own likeness rights and images, and also they're going to get some cheddar from the video game that's coming back, the college football game. So, yeah, it's an imperfect system, but I think it's getting better. Yeah. Michael Slayton. What do we have to give up for Orlando Brown Jr.? It might be 14. Still seems like a lot. Like, some days I'm in, other days I'm just meh. But also, so you get Orlando Brown Jr., you have to pay him, but that's fine. You can do that. You can work that with the cap. But essentially, you're getting Orlando Brown Jr., a guy that can play left tackle at a high level. You know that he can play at a Pro Bowl level. in the NFL, or you get a guy like Darrisaw or Slater, AVT, or Tevin Jenkins at 14 that you hope could be as good as Orlando Brown Jr. I get it. Thorvald Von Johnson. If you could pick the best coaches and players all time in each NFL positions, which team wins the Super Bowl? I don't know, the Steelers probably. Yes. Nathan Schultz. KJ Costello in the fourth? No. No, KJ Costello is kind of booty. Cole Habza. In your opinion, do you think Trevor Lawrence would have been taken ahead of Burrow if he was in this year's class? Yes. Lawrence, because of age, and also Burrow was a bit of a one-hit wonder. Plus, he was 23 when he came to the league, and Lawrence is 21. Also, where do you think Darnold would stack up compared to this class? So Darnold now or Darnold coming out of USC? Because people forget Darnold coming out of USC was a bad dude. I think that he would be right behind Zach Wilson. So I think it'd be Lawrence, Wilson, and then Darnold duking it out with Trey Lance and Fields and Mac Jones. I think you'd be in that mix. I think you'd have actually, no, I put him right behind Wilson. I think that he would be the clear number 3 versus those other guys. Just Jeff Fields McCormick. What do you think would be the best worst case scenario for the first round picks for the Vikings? As in people they might actually take. I don't mean like 6th round talent. I think the best case scenario, Darrisaw or one of the big 3 receivers. Worst case, I don't know, Asante Samuel Jr. Sticking and picking Trevor Moehrig at 14. Now, I'm down with Moehrig if you can get him later on in the first round, but not at 14. That just seems a little bit weird. Yeah, that's about it. Thomas Menino, favorite office quote, false. Tristan Bailey, do you think anyone on the team besides Zimmer is not happy with the Vikings? I mean, how often are you happy with your employers? So I'm sure that there are varying degrees of happiness and non-happiness at all levels of the organization. Sam Woodward. I'm not sure if this has been answered, but who's your favorite late first, second round potential tackles? So late first, I'll go Jenkins, Mayfield, Cosmi, Raduns. No, Jenkins, Raduns, Cosmi, Mayfield, Eichenberg. I think we went Leatherwood. Yeah, I'm trying to remember this from our rankings, but yeah, about in there. Yeah. All right, so that's it. That is the Daily Jerome's live stream for today. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Skull, production value.